Response video to Andy. Um, well, I'm going to psychoanalyze a little first here. This all seems rather desperate. These irrationalists are just that, irrational. So first the argument was, don't throw this idea of productivity on me because it causes guilt. Okay, and somehow guilt would be some sort of reasoned process. I can't make you feel guilty if there's not some kernel of truth in what is being stated. That's just a fact. The guilt has to be generated in your own mind. It has to meet some sort of rational scrutiny, and so you can't say it was imposed on you. That's just kind of silly. So that was your objection. And so now the new objection is, oh, no, I wasn't really feeling any guilt because I don't believe in guilt, and I don't believe in having any knowledge of right from wrong. And so, we have no clue because the butterfly effect destroys all reasonable expectations. Now, you can't have a reasonable expectation because the butterfly effect means, go ahead. Presume that something that turns out 100,000 times to be bad, and because one time it turns out to be good, that means it's worth doing. So go ahead, dump the dioxin in Lake Michigan, because it's $50 cheaper to do it that way. And we'll just presume that the 1 in 100,000 outcome will be the outcome, and that'll be our exemption from any responsibility because we can't control the butterflies, or something like that. So anyway, this is just, if this was your argument, then why didn't you just say this argument first? Why didn't you just say first, hey, okay, you're not imposing guilt on me because I don't believe in the very concept of right and wrong. I don't believe we can know, that it's wrong to rape or molest or murder or impose or steal or do anything because it might be the best thing that ever happened to somebody. Me fucking them over might work out just fucking fine. And even though I know rationally that's not the truth, that most times it's not going to turn out that way, fuck that. I don't have to be reasonable. That's all you're saying to me. You're just saying reasonable expectations are not in the ballpark of philosophical conversation. Oh, please. I don't believe in I don't think probability has any reality, but we certainly do know through that mechanism of using probability, statistical outcomes, we can know whether something's a viable solution to a problem. We could drop a nuclear bomb on a housefly, and one time it works out just fine, and every other time, no, it was a really bad idea. Lots of collateral damage. We know it's not a good idea. Don't do that. Stupid. The easiest example is maybe even the drunk driving one. Tiny percentage outcome of a good result. Okay, we prevent a drunk from running over a serial killer. Yes, that's true. There might be a couple of nasty people that are alive today because the drunk didn't run them over. But we know the damage side is so huge. The pain and suffering and horror imposed is gigantic. And it's a huge win. Whatever. Like I said, I shouldn't have to have this conversation with anybody out of grammar school. Who could fall for this idea that you can evade reasonable expectations by just, jumping on top of a butterfly and saying the butterfly did it? It's not my fault. Butterfly. What? I'm sorry to be insulting, but shit. This is, the context just gives it away, okay? You're obviously not prepared to defend your beliefs. And, now you're just resorting to desperation. Come on, you can't, like I said, you can't argue a minute ago one thing, and now argue something else. Just demonstrate your insincerity, if anything. Okay, so you're just playing devil's advocate, you're are whatever, God's advocate. I don't know what kind of advocate it is, but you're just being a lying lawyer in this philosophical conversation, and then you'll judge me and say I'm too rude or I'm too harsh. At least I'm fucking honest, you assholes. So yeah, don't, who's pulling what shit here? But don't tell me you don't have substantial knowledge of reasonably, rationally deduced expectations when it comes to behavior, and that you don't know right from wrong, that you don't know the difference between compromising somebody else's welfare and being safe, that you don't know the right and wrong of that. I mean, just bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Yeah. I mean, really, you could justify anything with the butterfly effect, anything. And that's all it is, just an evasion of responsibility to be reasonable, to be rational, to be confined by rationality. You don't want the confinement. And I don't know, I can only speculate on why you find the cage of rationality offensive. I wonder why. Why would somebody not like being constrained by rational, reasonable expectations of outcome? Let me think. Why would they do that? I guess they want to steal a lot of candy from babies. I guess they want to do something pretty fucking irrational, unreasonable. What other excuse can there be? Yeah, I don't know. So, whatever, who cares about motives? Dealing with your argument, again, I don't know, do I really have to explain to people on the internet? I don't know, maybe they are too stupid. Do you really think butterflies destroy our reasonable understanding of reasonable expectations, probability, likelihood? Really? And with our big human brain that you are also always glorifying, you can't figure out what's right and wrong. You can't figure out a huge, giant mass of substance in our behavior that you can put in the category of right and wrong easily, not complicated, not difficult, easily falls into one of those categories. Deliberately run over the cat, pet the cat. Yeah, I can't tell the difference. Really. Butterfly effect. The cat was going to eat Mickey Mouse. Fuck. So anyway, it's probably enough. No point in dragging it out. Disappointing response. I mean, like I said, what I'm going to argue with the butterfly effect. Like that had something to do with reality. The fact that 1 in a million times the unusual happens means we can't do the usual. We can't function. We're totally disabled. Because every now and then we miscalculate. Oh no. How horrible. So close down everything. Close down the justice system. Close down everything because we might make an error. Break all systems because every now and then an error might happen. So there, I can turn the butterfly effect upside down on you and use it as an excuse to destroy all progress, all acts of kindness. Everything can be destroyed by it. Everything. So it's just useless nonsense. Useless nonsense. It's irrational to have a conversation about the fact that we live in a world where we don't have perfect knowledge. It's irrational not to just accept that, but understand that we don't need perfect knowledge to function quite efficiently and effectively. There. Enough of a statement.